Hello. So in this video, I wanted to share with you a tool called Constructive Correction. It's a thing that if parents get the hang of it, it helps to improve your child's language skills. It's going to help them expand their vocabulary more quickly, and it's also going to set your child up with greater confidence in themselves so that they're more likely to share their thoughts and their ideas with others, which is really important. And so, constructive correction, what does that mean? What does that look like? The idea is that your child is not going to be able to say words correctly as they first start speaking. I think a lot of people are familiar with hearing paschetti instead of spaghetti or hangaber instead of hamburger. Their little tongues, their mouths, there's so many muscles that have to work to make all the sounds. It's tough, and so words come out the wrong way. And then on top of that, as your child is getting the hang of their vocabulary, they can put words in the wrong order or use the incorrect word. And so constructive correction becomes absolutely critical in helping them know it's okay, here's how to keep building on that, instead of responding in a way that causes them to shut down and become more afraid of speaking. So I'll give you two examples, a very classic, common, intuitive way of responding to a child who has spoken incorrectly, and the constructive correction approach. So here we go. If your child comes up to you, little thing, and says, "Are we having paschetti for dinner?" It's a very intuitive response to try and support their language skills and say, it's not paschetti, it's spaghetti. And yes, we are having spaghetti for dinner. It seemed fairly positive. It seemed, like I wasn't being cruel or unkind. And yet, correcting a child in that way can actually over time chip away at their confidence. Essentially, what's happened is they were corrected and they were told, oh, you didn't say it correctly. It's not paschetti, it's spaghetti. You said it wrong. This is the right way to do it. And as an isolated incident, it's nothing. It happened, it's gone, has little or no impact. But if this is our regular practice, oh, that's not how you say that. You say it like this. You're not looking for that word. You want to use this word. The it's not does have a cumulative effect. And what you're going to end up seeing is a child withdrawing more and more and more, becoming more and more concerned about, should I try saying this? Because what if I'm just wrong again? Being wrong and being corrected over and over and over is emotionally exhausting. As a trainer who works with adults, I'm telling you right now that I have to practice this with adults in the classroom too. If I want any kind of engagement, interaction, if I want people to ask their questions and tell me what they want and need out of their experience, I have got to practice constructive correction. So I'm letting you know now, if you start with your child that way and keep talking to them, saying, no, that's not it, try this instead, over time, the chances of your 16, 17, 18-year-old having a greater, harder time expressing their wants and needs, their thoughts to you, is a very real potential outcome. And I'd hate for you to end up there. So let's try out constructive correction instead. It sounds like this. Are we having paschetti for dinner? We are having spaghetti for dinner. I'm glad you asked. You don't make anything out of the incorrect pronunciation. You just respond in a way that suggests, I know what you meant. It's okay. I'm not going to make a thing of it. I know what you meant. And I will use the correct word back to you so that you can hear it. I'll give you a professional context for myself. When I have people in a first aid class ask, oh, I've heard, if you break your femur, then you can bleed to death. Is that true? Well, putting together what I've heard and what I can see, I can tell, I think you think this is your femur. Instead of saying, well, this isn't your femur is in your leg, which is that unintentionally negative response that can shut down further questions and actually make the whole class afraid of, oh, I don't want to look stupid, so don't ask your questions. If I bounce back to them, that's a great question. And yes, if you break your femur, and so I point to the correct bone, if you break your femur, you can bleed to death. And if you break your humerus, well, there's definitely an internal bleeding concern, but it's less of a concern than if you broke your femur. And so I just frame everything constructively. I have not said no or given them a negative response. I've simply acknowledged I heard what you said, I know what you meant, and I'm providing you with the correct information back. So last thing, I am not on board with the whole idea of let's bubble wrap children and make sure that they never hear no and never receive negative. That makes me so angry. So that is not what this video is about. Instead, just use your no's and your hard stops, your hard correction wisely, and just know that your needs for hard stops, hard no's are actually very limited. So let's make sure that they're as powerful as they can be, because your child rarely hears them and they know, oh, if I heard a no, it's a big deal. A great example would be anything safety related. We don't watch a child pretending to poke their brother in the eye with a fork, going, not touching you, not touching you, and then just, okay, you're about to actually poke your brother in the fork or in the eye with a fork. That's a no, we don't do that. And so use your hard no's for no, that is completely incorrect. That is unsafe. Mom, I'm just going to wash the toaster for you. No, we do not wash toasters. And especially not while it's plugged in. I'll take that. Thank you. So that's the difference. Constructive is, I heard you, I know what you meant, and I will bounce the correct information back to you. Hard no's are necessary tools, but they're for limited times. Usually when it's related to safety, it's we absolutely do not do that, and I need you to know that right now so that nothing bad happens. And so with that, just I hope that that tool and that food for thought is helpful for you, not only for setting up your young child for those vocabulary and confidence skills, but that lays out the foundation. I hope that you have an incredible relationship with your child when they're 16, 17, 18 years old, because you made it possible for them to feel heard and to receive correction in a way that made them feel like they were being built up rather than being told they didn't get it right. And so with that, if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, I'd love to know what they are. Please share them in the comments. Don't forget to hit subscribe. And if you found this valuable and you think somebody else would like it, be sure to share. And with that, I just hope you have a fabulous day. So with that, all the best and bye.